In a world where the line between empowerment and exploitation is increasingly blurred, Bonnie Blue has become a figure of controversy. She has used the internet to carve out a niche for herself, but with a dangerous agenda. Today, we're taking a closer look at Bonnie Blue, the OnlyFans star whose actions have set the stage for a conversation about influence, manipulation, and the darker side of fame.
And is it predominantly guys, or will you do, are you interested in ladies also?
I will do girls as well, but I feel like that would be a lot of hard work. Like, I've done scissoring before. Have you ever slept with women before?
No.
You've never slept with women?
No.
Oh, we can change that. I'm obsessed with virgins.
Oh.
You're in luck.
Bonnie Blue is a content creator who gained rapid fame with her explicit and provocative content on platforms like OnlyFans. Behind the headlines, however, lies a more troubling reality. Bonnie has openly discussed sleeping with over 1,000 men, using this shocking claim to build her brand around sexual freedom and shock value. She often promotes relationships with younger men, capitalizing on the barely legal fascination. While legally acceptable, these actions feed into a disturbing culture of objectifying youth and reducing relationships to transactions.
You have a very specific niche, don't you?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So, barely legal, 18-year-olds. Because as I started my content, I realised it was not necessarily relatable to the average person. And I wanted to make my content relatable. I'm just a girl, I'm relatable, I'm sort of the girl next door vibes. However, that does not portray online if I'm doing these rough, over-the-top scenes. And I want people to be able to watch my videos and be able to imagine themselves in it and, you know, connect with it.
I think the issue that people have with you specifically is the fact that you use terms like barely legal. You say that you're babysitting for kids, I think is a word.
No,
that
I've never used babysitting.
Sorry, babysitting for adults. You did in a podcast with Lottie Moss.
But it's like the barely legal, that's what the media gave me.
The danger of her message to younger audiences. But perhaps the most disturbing aspect of Bonnie's fame is the influence she has on young girls. Her lifestyle, portrayed as glamorous and powerful, sends a message that wealth, fame, and validation are only a click away. But it's a message built on self-objectification. Young women who idolize her are exposed to the idea that their worth is determined by their sexual appeal and the shock value they can generate. The implication is clear. To gain attention, they must be bold, provocative, and willing to push the limits of what is socially acceptable. For these young followers, Bonnie's content becomes a blueprint. They see her fame, her followers, and her supposed success, and they want the same. But this path, fueled by shock and controversy, isn't a sustainable or healthy one.
What if we did 2,000 men together in 24 hours? So you
That
just
would be
double
hot.
it.
Yeah, that would be good. Would we both take 2,000, or I take 1,000 and you take 1,000?
Well, you've already taken 1,000.
Yeah.
But maybe I need to like start off slow.
I don't know, because you might well start off big.
Could I choose like sizes?
If you was going to choose, I'd say choose small.
It encourages them to embrace sexualization and self-objectification as a way to achieve status and validation. This isn't empowerment, it's exploitation, masked by a false promise of control and freedom. Her impact on married women and wives.
Women are lazy. If they're not going to give sex to their husbands, then those husbands, dads, and barely legal teenagers have a right. Women are not the sexual property of men, and women don't exist to pleasure men.
Bonnie doesn't just target young girls though. Her message also reaches married women, creating a dangerous rift between them and their partners. By belittling the lives of wives and mothers, she paints a picture of them as boring and stale, suggesting that they aren't fulfilling their husband's needs. According to Bonnie, what men need is someone like her, daring, unpredictable, and willing to break the rules. For many wives, this messaging creates doubt and insecurity. When they see Bonnie's confidence and freedom, they begin to question whether their own marriages are lacking excitement. The underlying message she pushes is that marriage, commitment, and stability are dull and insufficient, leaving many women wondering if they've fallen into a life of mediocrity. In truth, it's not about relationships being boring. It's about a culture of instant gratification that puts unrealistic pressures on couples to constantly live in a state of heightened emotional and physical thrill. The glorification of cheating and manipulation. Bonnie has also made a name for herself by glorifying cheating and manipulating relationships. She openly encourages married men to step out on their wives, presenting infidelity as an exciting and desirable escape from the routine of married life. Her narrative frames her as the solution to what she perceives as the boredom of traditional, committed relationships. She encourages men to look outside their marriages for the excitement they think they need, all while positioning herself as the other woman who can provide that thrill. This toxic mentality doesn't just affect married men. It encourages a mindset where respect and commitment take a back seat to selfish desire. Bonnie's success has made infidelity appear glamorous and even justified, distorting the truth about healthy relationships and the real value of trust and loyalty. Bonnie's influence isn't just a temporary trend, it's shaping how an entire generation perceives relationships, sex, and respect. For young men, her behavior suggests that relationships should be transactional, based on instant gratification and personal gain, rather than mutual respect and emotional connection. For young women, it teaches them that the path to success and fame lies in sexualizing themselves and pushing boundaries for attention, a dangerous lesson that distorts what it means to be empowered. She offers a warped version of freedom, one where sexualization becomes the currency for validation. And as more young women look up to her as a role model, this message is shaping the future of how they navigate relationships, sex, and their own identities. The truth is, Bonnie Blue has used her platform to influence millions, but the cost of that influence is high. For young girls, her fame offers a false promise, one that could lead them down a path of self-exploitation in pursuit of the same superficial fame she has achieved. For married women, her message is one of insecurity, leading them to question their own worth in relationships. And for men, it's a lesson in betrayal, manipulation, and treating love as something disposable. The impact of Bonnie Blue's message is more than just an internet trend. It's a dangerous shift in how we view relationships, respect, and self-worth. As the internet continues to shape the future, we must ask ourselves, what kind of message are we willing to accept, and what kind of world do we want to create for the next generation? Leave your thoughts in the comments. The influence of influencers like Bonnie Blue is powerful, but it's up to us to decide what kind of impact we want to allow.